Hello everyone, my name is Katie Calloway and thank you so much for joining our recorded webinar here that is all about Instagram for real estate professionals. There is a lot to unpack here. We have so much to talk about. So hopefully you will be able to access this recording via the Right Tools Right Now page, courtesy of the National Association of Realtors, or maybe you're watching this recording that was sent after the live webinar we hosted today via email. Either way, we're super happy that you're joining us, and let's go ahead and dive on into it. Before we talk about Instagram, I do just want to talk a little bit about Back at You. This is not a sales webinar by any means at all. We are simply here to give you best practices, tips on Instagram. With that said, we are a proud partner of the National Association of Realtors Realtor Benefits Program, as well as we are Facebook marketing partners and Instagram marketing partners. So what does this mean? Essentially, Back at You is the intersection between real estate and social media marketing, right? We have been very thoroughly vetted by Facebook and Instagram themselves for having a solid track record of success, as well as making sure that we are experts in this field. So you're in good hands today when talking about Instagram marketing. And let's go ahead and dive on into it. So if you're not already familiar, Facebook acquired Instagram a few years ago. And when they did this, they also ended up adopting a lot of Facebook's iconic features. One of them being the difference between having a personal account on Instagram and a business account on Instagram. So let's talk first about what the difference is and then what makes sense for you to use as a realtor. So what's the difference? Because essentially they're wired very similarly aesthetically. You still can upload pictures to Instagram, you can still upload stories and videos and utilize IGTV or Instagram Live. All of those tools are still there. So what's the difference anyway? Well, one of the biggest differences is going to be the ability to have specific calls to action embedded directly within your Instagram profile. Business accounts also provide tons of bonus features, including access to some very incredibly detailed and valuable analytics. And you have the opportunity to run ads, which you cannot do with just a personal account alone. So those are the main differences. Now let's talk about the specifics of each one of those. So what do I mean when having your contact information embedded directly within your profile? This is a great example. It's our Instagram account, which you can feel free to go and follow. We do something called Meme Monday every single Monday. It's really fun, lighthearted humor for you guys. But you can see that we have a contact button right there because we utilize a Instagram business account. When someone clicks on that contact button, they have the option to call us or email us. So if you have an Instagram business account, you can feature your email address, your phone number, even your business address directly within your profile, as well as you can add your business category. So for you guys, it would be real estate, right? Also, with business accounts, you have the insights to tons of detailed analytics. You can monitor your engagement activity, meaning the amount of comments, the amount of shares, the amount of likes that your posts and your Instagram stories receive. Also, with these analytics, you get some incredible audience data, which is huge. This is where you can see the times of day, as well as the days of the week that your followers are most active on Instagram, as well as the gender of your following, the age, and the location, which is huge. Let's say you are a real estate professional in Miami, Florida, but a lot of your following seems to be in Nashville, Tennessee. That way, you're getting those insights. You might be able to re-strategize and reassess how to target your local market as opposed to whatever your analytics might be showing that wouldn't behoove you in the long term. You also get insight to traffic, meaning any sort of lead that might be visiting your website or your landing page or whatever link that you decide to embed within your bio on your profile, which we'll talk about in a second. But with business accounts, you can also advertise. So that way, you don't have to worry about organically growing your following, your exposure, your reach. You can use the Facebook algorithm, which is now embedded within Instagram, and create in-feed photo, video, carousel ads, which are really cool, all within the Instagram Business Ads Manager. And you can complement your feed content with ads on Instagram stories. So you don't have the ability to do any of what I just talked about using a personal account. So over here at Back at You, we answer with a resounding yes, you should use a business account on Instagram as well as on Facebook to make sure that you are differentiating yourself from other real estate professionals, having those strong CTAs, being able to advertise. It's a win-win all around. Also, whenever you do convert your Instagram personal account to a business professional account, make sure to connect the two together, your Facebook and Instagram business accounts. This makes it super easy to have seamless information between the two, as well as run ads across both of them, and you get access across the whole Facebook family of applications. So make sure when you have a Facebook business page and an Instagram business account that you connect the two. It's very, very easy to do. Now let's talk about an Instagram bio. I know this might seem like a minute detail, and does a bio really matter all that much, but you have to remember the saying that you never get a second chance to make a first impression, of course, holds true in many aspects of being a real estate agent, but especially when it comes to presenting yourself online, and social media is no exception to that. So let's talk about the Instagram bio. For Instagram, this is what it should include. This also really applies to any social media platform, whether it be Twitter, LinkedIn, your Facebook business page. You always want to include who you are. Of course, that could be your name. It could be the name of your brokerage if you are a broker owner. Also, what you do. So, for example, if I were a real estate agent, I wouldn't just want to have my name be Katie Calloway. I would want it to be Katie Calloway, real estate agent, or Katie Calloway with, let's say, Remax Integrity, or whatever your brokerage is, something that explains very, very candidly what you do and what you're there for. Also include where you conduct business in your profile. Let's say you have a really great strategy using hashtags on Instagram, and a lot of people are coming to your profile that may not be within your local sphere of influence or your local market. So having where you conduct business in your bio is going to be really beneficial to those that are finding you through another means. As well, it's going to save you a lot of time to filter through leads that come in if it's someone that's across the country and may not be looking to buy in your area, even though they like the listing you have. So make sure to share where you conduct business, whether it's a city, state, etc. Also include your contact information, and of course, like I said a second ago, having a Instagram business profile makes it super easy to have it directly embedded there, but it's also just a second step to have it in your bio as well in case someone misses over that button. Also, your bio should include a little bit of the tone of your brand, of your business. Are you a real estate professional that works with pets a lot? Are you someone who works with veterans or luxury properties? If you have a niche, make sure your bio captures that. Also within your bio, share your skill set, and this kind of goes hand in hand with branding, but just keep in mind what sets you apart from the competition locally. Do you have a certain unique set of skills or expertise that might be of interest to your followers and your potential following? So by including these in your bio, it's going to help introduce you to new audience members, but it's also going to be a huge indicator on whether or not they want to utilize your services and end up conducting business with you. In your bio, this is a fun little tip too, use emojis to make it pop. If you're not familiar with emojis, they're those little caricatures in text that are simply just images. And remember, Instagram is a very visual platform at the end of the day, and that includes your bio. There's no reason that you can't make your bio, as simple as it is, something that's eye-catching. Emojis can add personality, they can point to a call to action. Just like here, they have an arrow emoji in this example. They can also establish branding. If you have certain colors that your company, your brokerage, or you yourself just like to have, you can establish branding by using emojis as well. So definitely use them to make it pop. And then, of course, include a call to action. This is probably a no-brainer, but it's absolutely worth saying. With Instagram, you are limited with the amount of characters you can put in your bio, only 150, which is not a ton. So you're going to need to very quickly compel anyone who comes across your profile to do something. What do you want them to do? Do you want them to follow you? Do you want them to click on the link that's in your bio or visit your website? Do you want them to fill out a free home valuation landing page? Or maybe you just want them to engage with your content. No matter what your goal is, make sure to include that call to action in your bio. Now here's a little tip speaking about calls to action. So as of right now, Instagram only allows one link to be clickable across the board. Unless you're running an ad, that's a little bit different, but you can't put links in your posts. Instagram doesn't allow that. Facebook does, Twitter does, LinkedIn does, but Instagram is different. It's a visual medium, and your call to action would have to point to the link that's in your bio. So since you're only allowed one link, a little workaround is using a service like linkedin.bio or Linktree. We use this over here at Back at You, and it's a little service where you can turn one link into many. So whether it's a home value landing page, a link to your website, maybe a link to a single property website if you want to showcase a specific listing of yours, you can provide multiple links within one short URL by using a service like this. So that's just a little tip about the link in your bio. Now let's talk about what makes a great Instagram caption. So I said this earlier, I'm going to say it again. Instagram is a visual medium. Photos, videos, right? That is where everyone's focus is. So brevity is going to be key. You have to keep in mind when people are scrolling through social media, especially Instagram feeds, they're doing it at a very fast pace, right? Sometimes mindlessly, sometimes with more focus. It's a visual platform first and foremost. So in your captions, keep it brief, give context where you need to, but if the post speaks for itself, let it. One of the big mistakes that we see over here time and time again is having a listing being a post, right? And the entire caption is paragraph on paragraph on paragraph describing the property. That's not going to behoove you. Also keep in mind captions on Instagram are cut off in the user's feed after a few lines of text. And if someone does want to continue reading, they have to opt into clicking view more, read more, keep reading. And a lot of people don't do that. They're going to keep scrolling. So if you do require a longer caption for whatever reason, make sure to place the most important words, keywords, key phrases at the very beginning to captivate your audience, and then they can move on or take some kind of action. Also in captions, use hashtags. This is the biggest tip for you to organically grow your exposure, grow your following. Just look at these statistics. Instagram posts with at least one hashtag, just one, got 70% more likes and 392% more comments than those without. That is huge. So using hashtags is absolutely going to grow your visibility, grow your exposure, potentially get you more leads as well. But don't just use any hashtag. It's important that you use the right hashtags to achieve your specific goals. For example, hashtag real estate or hashtag open house. That's a very, very broad category across the internet. So if you use those, it's likely that your post is going to get lost in the noise. So try some more specific examples. So some examples would be using a location prior to whatever you're advertising, like Nashville open house if you're in Nashville. Or if your city has a nickname, like Nashville has Music City, doing Nashville open house and then hashtag Music City listing. You can also hashtag your brokerage as well as the state that you work in if you want to capture a broader audience than maybe just your one specific local market. We also get a question time and time again about how many hashtags to use. So although you can post up to 30, Instagram does allow a total limit of 30 hashtags per Instagram post. We don't advise using all 30. In fact, data shows us that 7 is going to generate the most engagement, while anything that's over 9 hashtags, it's going to be perceived as spam by your audience. It doesn't read very well. It's not aesthetically pleasing. It looks a little desperate, right? So keep it to about 7. That seems to be the sweet spot. And always mix it up too. Don't use the same hashtags every single post, or Instagram's algorithm will also flag that as spam too. Make sure to keep it fresh. And emojis, we're back to emojis again, but hear me out. They are important to use. Not only do they just spruce up your messaging, make your captions more fun, convey emotion beyond words, but they're also incredibly effective. Just using a few emojis is going to be great. I'm not talking about reverting to hieroglyphics and having a ton of emojis, but just having a few is going to get a 57% higher interaction rate. That's huge. Also, for real estate, there are emojis for homes, there's a set of keys, there are cell phones, there's a computer, you can use symbols like an arrow to point to a certain call to action. Get creative, it's really easy to use, and they're also incredibly effective. In your caption too, do not forget the call to action. Just like your bio, if you want people to engage, if you want them to do something when they land on your post, you have to ask them, okay? You have to spell it out for them. You can encourage them to visit the link in your bio that I was talking about earlier. You can encourage them to ask questions about maybe a upcoming virtual open house that you have ready to go, or even teasers to new listings and asking them what parts of the property they'd like to see more on your Instagram feed. Tons of things. The options are endless. Also, this is a big tip for Instagram as well as Facebook or really any social media platform. But if you're doing a call to action, make sure that you aren't engagement baiting. What does that mean? So engagement baiting phrases would be, share this if your birthday is in October, right? Or comment here if you agree. Or like this post if your favorite color is green, right? That would be considered engagement baiting. It ends up being flagged as spam by these algorithms, and it's a big no-no in the world of social media. So you have to get creative with your calls to actions. This example from IGTV, super simple, still very clear. Link in bio for more. Simple. Basically, the call to action is, you interested in this project that we shared here? Check out the link in our bio to learn more about how to do this yourself. Super simple, sweet, and they used an emoji too. Now let's talk about Instagram stories. The story feature on Instagram is super unique, and even though it was inspired by Snapchat, 68% of people say that Instagram is their preferred story consumption method, which is 20% more than those who use Snapchat. So what are Instagram stories? They're basically little snippets into your daily life as a real estate professional. They're super short, sweet, and they're not permanent like a post would be if you post something. In fact, they disappear within 24 hours. If you upload a photo to your Instagram story, the view time is 5 seconds long, very short and sweet, easy to digest. And if it's a video, it's 15 seconds long. Also, remember, stories don't have to be a huge production. You can pop on an Instagram story and ask for a question that someone might have, right? If you give some kind of call to action or a prompt for engagement within your Instagram stories, you're gonna get responses. They're a huge, huge driver of personal connection. It's bringing the human element into your social media platform. In fact, 1 in every 5 organic stories is gonna result in a direct message. That's what DM stands for. That's huge. That's how you can easily foster relationships, generate leads, simply by uploading some Instagram stories. When it comes to Instagram stories, you do want to be mindful of the content that you're posting because it is a little bit different. So what should you be posting? Here are some good examples. Teasers to new listings and also listing posts. So you could maybe show a listing's beautiful bathroom. Maybe they have an exquisite master bath, and that's the one thing that you show on your Instagram story, and then prompt people to check out the full listing, whether it's a post on your profile, whether it's an IGTV video, whether it's a link in your bio that redirects to a single property website. So you can give little teasers, little snippets for listings that are upcoming or active, as well as a behind the scenes look. That's a great thing to post on your Instagram stories. People are very curious about setting up for an open house. What does that process look like? Or maybe just a day in the life of a realtor. You can also do Q&A prompts. The really cool thing about Instagram stories is they have a little stickers feature where you can easily put a sticker where people can ask questions and then you can reply to them. Stories is a great place too to invite people to view a virtual open house, a virtual showing, whether it's pre-recorded or an upcoming live stream. And then something, if you're just stuck and don't know what to put on your Instagram stories, basic design and home maintenance tips are great. Maybe even encouraging people to wipe down their baseboards around their home or give their walls a fresh coat of paint or organizing their pantry. Those things are always great go-tos for social media, whether it be stories or in your feed, because you, as someone who works with homes on a regular basis, you're an expert in that field, so go ahead and share those tips. Now, I was saying that stories are temporary, right? They only last 24 hours on your profile and then they disappear. but maybe you get a lot of the questions all the time. Maybe you want to share some reviews. This is where you're going to make it permanent on your feed. So let's talk about highlights. That's what these little circles are underneath an Instagram bio on someone's Instagram profile. That's what a highlight is. It's basically a collection of previously uploaded stories that you might want to keep sharing. So this is a great place for organizing those listing teasers I was talking about. Also, vendor's elation, if you just have one highlight that is dedicated to capturing on film whenever someone closes with you or you're handing over a set of keys, whatever it might be, capturing those sweet moments on camera, putting them on your story, and then saving them as a highlight, those are so fun to watch, and it also shows that you're a great realtor to work with. Common questions and answers. If you get a lot of questions about schools in your area, or if you get a lot of questions about different lenders, whatever that might be, you could have one of these highlights dedicated to an FAQ. Also, reviews. Let's say you have great reviews on your website, maybe you have great reviews on Zillow or your Facebook page. Take a screenshot of those reviews, upload them as a story, and then save it as a highlight so people can continuously see that you're a great person to work with, and they can easily access that information and those testimonials without digging through your website or doing this extreme amount of research to see if you're a reliable person to work with. Now, IGTV. So what in the world is IGTV? We've talked about stories, we've talked about highlights, we've talked about normal Instagram posts and captions to go with them. So what in the world is IGTV? Well, when you are uploading a video onto Instagram, you are limited to a video that is 1 minute long. That's it. So if it's a video and you're scrolling through your feed, that video is 1 minute. However, IGTV has now given us the option to upload something 15 minutes long. And then you can post a 1 minute teaser to whatever 15-minute video you're sharing onto your Instagram profile. Basically, this is a great way to show a listing, show a property, maybe do a longer form Q&A or about me video, and save it to your Instagram profile while still being able to do all of that, not working within the confines of 1 minute. You can't show the entire benefits of a beautiful property in 1 minute, but in 15 you probably can get at least a general idea of the home. So what's IGTV? It's basically a longer form way to share videos on Instagram. But what kind of content works? Essentially, it's the perfect platform for sharing video content that doesn't work on your Instagram feed, aka something limited to 1 minute, or Instagram stories, which would be something that would disappear or super short, of course. So this could include a walkthrough tour. It could also be a re-upload from a live stream that you've previously conducted, or a longer FAQ, like I was saying earlier. If you don't want to put that in your highlights, have a dedicated IGTV moment to your frequently asked questions as a real estate professional in your local area. Now, what's the difference then between IGTV and Instagram Live? Well, let's talk about Instagram Live specifically. Basically, Instagram Live is very similar to what Facebook Live is, where you conduct a broadcast and then your followers or anyone that joins the live stream can, in real time, ask you questions. So this is a wonderful medium for conducting virtual open houses or even interviewing industry experts. But before we talk about what kind of content works on Instagram Live, you always want to let your followers know the date and time you plan to go live in advance. Don't just spring it on them, right? Make sure that you generate and foster an audience ahead of time. You could send an email to the people that you're currently working with. You can publish a post dedicated to promoting your live stream ahead of time on Instagram, but also you can cross-promote on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Facebook about your IG Live. A great thing about going live too is after you go live, you can save your broadcast directly to your camera roll on your phone and then share it to either your story, you can share it to IGTV for people to catch the replay of that live stream. A cool feature too that Instagram allows is that you can invite friends to join your live video, which is so cool. You can interview maybe a lender that you work with or someone else that's an industry expert, maybe someone who does staging All of that you can do just from the comfort of your own home. You can conduct a live Q&A, a virtual open house, which is really exciting, interview a past client. The options are endless. But speaking of virtual open houses and using some kind of live streaming platform, Back at You actually recently launched our whole virtual open house platform, which is really exciting. And beyond navigating the physical distancing that coronavirus has really put in front of us, the implementation of virtual open house technology, it's not going anywhere. It creates a super malleable open house landscape for the future. So hosting virtual open houses could be super beneficial for you to be more flexible with your clients' needs, but it also presents a super valuable option for out-of-town buyers who might be relocating and they're unable to physically tour properties, right? Also, if you're thinking ahead, millennials, as you know, make up the largest workforce right now in the United States. Also, millennials are the largest share of home buyers at 38%, which is huge. So this sort of feature, hosting virtual open houses, isn't going anywhere, and it absolutely caters to younger generations who might prefer to view these listings digitally prior to making any kind of longer-term commitment. So, with all of this said, I know we just unpacked a ton, so much information all about Instagram, and it might seem overwhelming. There's so much in that tiny little mobile-first platform. But the good news is, like I was saying earlier, Back at You is an Instagram marketing partner, a Facebook marketing partner, as well as a proud partner of the National Association of Realtors Realtor Benefits Program. So we finally have been able to launch that intersection between Instagram marketing and real estate marketing, and we are the only company in the real estate space to fully automate that process of your Instagram marketing. It's live now. It's so exciting. So that combined with the virtual open house technology is something really incredible that we're doing over here. And if you are interested in what we do, if you're unfamiliar, Back at You automates the entire process when it comes to your social media marketing, and not just on Instagram. We're talking Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and on all of those platforms we can help you automate your listing, your content, your advertising. Will help you build relationships online, all with transparent analytics, and we'll give you lead capture pages to make sure that you are effectively growing your business using all of those platforms. If you're interested, if you're watching this in the month of June, we have our semi-annual sale. First of all, which is crazy that we are halfway through the year of 2020. But if you want to set and forget your social media for the rest of the year, we're simply charging $3.99 for the rest of 2020. Boom, done. In addition to that, we'll give you a $25 ad credit this month as well, just as a little gift to you. We want to make sure that you're staying connected with your community right now, since it's super important to, first and foremost, be a good neighbor. And the way to do that right now is through technology and social media. So we want to be there and help you guys out. If that's something that you want to take advantage of, feel free to email me. This email on your screen, which is hey@backatyou.com. You'll see it right there, right over there in the pink section. So if you email that, it will come directly to me, and I can set you up with a social media expert here at Back at You. Make sure that you get a free consultation to see what works, what doesn't work, maybe where your weak spots are, where your strong spots are, and also get you those savings too. We want to make sure that you're in good hands. All right, everyone. Thank you so much again for joining today. I hope that you are staying safe and healthy, and yeah, thank you again. If you have questions, feel free to email us. If you have topic suggestions for the next time we conduct a webinar, we would love to hear it. Other than that, I hope everyone is having a lovely morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world, whenever you're watching this. Other than that, we'll talk soon. Have a good one, you guys. Bye-bye.